All right, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, hopefully the Most High in your house shall bless you all day. By His mercies you are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house, His body, and two, we're naturally alive. Man, yeah, I just want to get into this too, man, because, like, that's why, shout out to because you know this too, it's crazy, because shout out to the brother, Assembly of Firstborn too, because he said this a lot, he said this before, and it's very true. To know how our people operate, it's like you have to know the conduct of women and children. That's why we're akin to that. But also, too, man, I was talking about this with my actual brother the other day, man, because especially nowadays, right? Because, hold on, y'all. Because I was actually, no, I remember talking about this with my sister, actually, and my brother, too. Especially with my sister on my way back, like a month or so ago. Actually, a few months ago when we saw Sinners together. And also, too, I was talking about this with my brother, man. Because you know it is too. It's one. It's pride and it's the lack of respect, man. Because actually that was one of the morning prayers today, man. With Isaiah 30 and 20 about like the importance of teaching and instructing. Like look, don't get it twisted, man. Because that's what it. Because we live in a time period now, like because as prophesied, but as now. I'm not saying it was back then that people didn't have this mentality, but yeah, we can read throughout the word. People had this mentality. It's in human nature, but now how much more so even now? Like I'm just seeing this. I just noticed this, man, because honestly, people just look at it's a lack of it's pride and lack of respect for people's vocation, man. Because anything that you do, because we live in the era like people look at it and like the I can do that era now. Oh, they look at certain things. Oh, I can do that until they're actually in it. Then they figure out, oh, it's harder than what it looks. Like that's pride and lack of respect. And that's where leaving because don't get twisted, man. Some people are what's the word I'm looking for? Audio, like they're autodidactic. They can be self-taught. They can go online, read books, and learn different things themselves. They can be a mechanic, do electrician work, or do all types of stuff, man. They can teach the very different things in various locations, various things. That's what the Most High in your house shall instill in them. Some people are autodidactic like that. That means self-taught, I believe. But yeah, like some people can do that. But but a lot of times too, especially now, we lack value of actual a teacher, man, and structure, man. That's why Proverbs 5 goes into how you're supposed to appreciate your teachers, and how Isaiah 30 goes into that, man. Because it is too, now, because let's get this Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. It says, "Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is when he is old, he will not depart from it." So yeah, man, what it is too. Especially our people now, especially in this dichotomy now, we see this because this is what our people do. Unfortunately, even other nations do it, but especially our people with Jake, man. We expect you can't it's because it's crazy. It's crazy. Last night I was watching a horror documentary, right? Top 100 top 100 horror movie moments, man. And that one of them I was just watching. I woke up middle of the night and it got on. I forgot what place it was on the list, but the original Frankenstein came out, man. But don't you know a lot of people think like that? Because I remember talking to a sister. The sister I was talking to last year, man. She said something which was partially true, but there's reasons for that. She said, "Oh, men aren't men anymore. They can't do this." And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I mentioned this. Listen, men have to be trained up to be men, just like women have to be trained to be submissive. Or men have to be trained to be men, because we're our people. We do this a lot of times. Just figure out. No, that's what that's what that's what one, the parents or whoever, even if you don't have parents, or that's what even if it's a spiritual parent, something like that, or even that's what people have to be trained up into things like that. People have to be taught and trained up, because you can't expect a child to be mature, because it's what we're about to get into. No, it's naturally in them to do silly things, or have a childish mindset. That's like the Most High house trains us. That's why I said the renewing of the mind, because he knows they know that we don't have a godly mind. That's why it was where he's training us up. Also to actual teachers, actual brothers out there in the four corners of earth that teach this word, man. That's why it gives you the spirit. And he gives a man that is teaching you the spirit to learn, to be trained up, even outside the word, man. You gotta be taught that, man. You can't be expecting nobody get chastise anybody without the instruction, man, because that's cruel. And the Most High house I never did that, man. So That's just is what it is, though, man. But people think like, because when she said that, man, when this don't think it's not. There's a lot of people have that mentality, like with men and women, both sides. It's like, listen, it's not a Frankenstein, it's not a Build-A-Bear. You can't expect somebody like to do that, like like you can't automatically like let's get this in Judges real quick, man, because like for example, for a man, like men just don't automatically know how to fight. They had to be taught how to fight in physical combat. Just like even with women, they had to be trained to be like to be like modest, or like to do certain things women do. They had to be trained, they had to be taught that. You can't just expect it. Okay, this she this person has a vagina, she's supposed to be doing this, or this person has a penis, he's a man, he's supposed to be able to do this. Excuse my like language, but that's just is what it is. You can't be expected. People had to be taught, pretty much. That's what I'm saying, man. So like example, let's get this in Judges real quick. Judges chapter 3. Let's look at this. Judges chapter 3. It says, only that generation of children of Israel might know to teach them war, or at least such as before knew nothing thereof. So yeah, see, like that's just is what it is. It was a generation turned during the time of Judges. They didn't know war, because that's like it wasn't like Abraham. Remember in Genesis 14, when Abraham had trained his servants up in the war. Not only that, like physical war, but also spiritual war, man. Warring against your members, war against yourself, man. That's the biggest war, honestly, man. Warring against an old person, the old man or old woman, man. Like the old person, man. The old what's the word I'm looking for? Your old self, I should say. But yeah, man, let's get this Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 15, because it's all dealing with the renewing of the mind. It says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive far from him. See, let's look at this in the Good News translation, man. Honestly, that's why the Most High House child like says that, man. Let's get it. It says, children just naturally do careless, do silly. Proverbs 22 and verse 15. I'm sorry. Children just naturally do silly and careless things, but a good spanking will teach them how to behave. Now, of course, sometimes you gotta you do have to put that belt beating on them, but no, it's really of correction though, instruction. Like that's what it is, because a lot of times people do that, just like just thinking, just beat them all the time. No, that's just that's not really gonna work really. Now there's times to give them a good spanking shoe. That's why, I grew up getting that. I'm pretty sure y'all brothers and sisters did, but it's more about instructing them. Why are they doing this? How can we prevent it? Give them resolutions. Tell them the why, rather than what they did was wrong. Tell them the why. Pretty much why you do this. Explain the instruction, but don't get twisted. Now, if you give them instruction, because there's plenty. I've seen it said plenty of times, man. Sometimes you got good parents. They just did that, but your child just chose. People gonna do what they want to do, so the child just chose to do. To not follow it, do wickedly. We see it all throughout the word, man. You had certain parents that were righteous and the children were wicked, or you had certain children that were actually righteous and their parents were wicked. It's just kind of that dichotomy. But yeah, let's get this 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Because yeah, man, it says, because that's why he says renewing of the mind, because he knows that it's not naturally in you to have a godly type of mind. Let's get this. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19, it says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh. For it is written that he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So see, didn't it just say, listen, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it away. So yeah, what's that foolishness? The worldly, like carnal, fleshly, that's naturally in us. That's naturally in us. But that's where the renewing of the mind become as a little child. Humble yourself as a little child, being born again, being born of the word. Through that, that's through the testimony, the witness, the gospel, new covenant. That's how that happens, man. But yeah, man. So that's natural. But that's why there's a level of patience, long suffering that you have to have, especially working with children. I'm pretty sure your brothers and sisters, that have children, or ever work with children, that I have, working with children for 10 plus years. That's certain things that you have to have with that, because listen, that's still at the end of the day, they're children. They're gonna. That's like the Heavenly Father does, with us. So don't get twisted. Will you have your moments? Yeah, you get annoyed, get frustrated. Of course, that's just natural. But yeah. Like you can't expect them to have a mature type of mindset. No, that's why like always like don't get twisted. You might have times when you constantly yell. I mean, no, not you might have times where you yell and scream and raise your voice thing. No. Me personally, I had moments like that, but I had to catch myself. I put my authoritative voice, but yelling, screaming, no, that's not really conducive all the time. You gotta have moments where you get like that, but no, they do that all the time, man. Because I was just leaving the zoo the other day, and I just saw. Don't get twisted. I think what the young Jake, the young brother, did was disrespectful. I'm not sure if his mother or not, but just seeing his mother, she's saying she was gonna beat the sh out of him. She was gonna hit him with the umbrella. She was trying to hit him on something. Oh my gosh! I was like, oh. Gosh, I was like, it's sad because I know how he's more than likely how he's going to turn out. Like, and it's more going with us with our people in general. But that's neither here nor there, man. So, and don't get it twisted. Sometimes listen, children they need that, but that's not always that shouldn't be the more operandi to go to, But anyway, let's grab this Romans chapter 12 verse 1. Romans 12, verse 1. It says, verse 2. It says, and be not conformed to this world. Yeah, because what we just read in 1 Corinthians 3. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may be able to expect, be proved what is good and acceptable and perfect in the will of your house. See, that's what it is. That's how you're renewing the mind. That's what it is, doing the will of the Most High in your house shop. Learning his attributes, learning about him, so we could take on being his image, and walk in walk in the spirit and produce that fruit, man. That's what it is, and that also too that has to be within you. Fruits of the spirit is not like something you could rehearse or reading that act out. No, it has to be in you, man, because those fruit is the Most High house has the tree of life, and the Most High house has that tree, and that produce fruits, and those fruits are in His name in Exodus 34:6, Numbers 14:18, like we always talk about. But yeah, man. But let's grab a Psalms real quick, man, because that's why He manifested Himself in the flesh, man. That's why to see that, man, because listen, that's by His love and mercy, because because He knew we don't have godly mind. But yeah, let's Hebrews chapter 103 and verse 13. Like as the Father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear Him. For He knoweth our frame, and He remembered that we are dust. So yeah, man, He already knows. He already knows that you don't have a godly mind, especially before you came in the Word. But coming in the Word, that's why, brothers and sisters, it's a one. It says, I was looking at this in Second Esdras 5 the other day, because what the Most High house says to Esdras, man, or the angel, I believe. He said, listen, do you ask a baby, ask a woman how much have have a baby? Do they just have it at once, or the whole process of having a baby? Or is it a process constantly? And that's what it is being born again, man. It's a constant process. That's why Paul says, listen, I fight daily with the flesh. I fight daily with the old man, the old woman, the old person, the your old self, man. That's just constant, man. Now, don't get twisted though. You don't want to be constantly doing the same thing every day or every month, every week, every year that the Most High house shot lets us see. But don't be too hard on yourself, because listen, certain times you're just gonna have a human reaction. But but yeah, man, that's just is what it is, man. But that's why he let's get this Hebrews chapter 2 real quick, man, because He came in the flesh, man, and because to show you the Most High, that's why house child was the Most High came in the flesh, pretty much, man. And that, we're not saying that the same entity, but pretty much your house child was the living embodiment of the Most High, man. To see that, so we could do a walk as He walked, man. So to show you how what godliness looks like, man. So that's just is what it is, though, man. Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 7, man. It says, Thou madest Him little lower than the angels, and Thou crownest Him with glory and honor, and didst set Him over the works of Thy hands. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, because He came in and He Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 17. Wherefore all things it behooved him to make himself like unto his brethren, that he might be merciful and faithful, and a high priest pertaining unto Yahweh to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. See, and that he did such that. Exactly, man, because that goes back to the Psalms. He know our frame, man. Like, no, so he went through, like, the human spirit. I mean, the human experience, man. He had flesh just like us, man, but he didn't sin, man. So that's why, like, no, he was the Word. So that's is what it is. And he showed us, listen, if you're born in the Word in you, you can't sin, man. You're gonna constantly fight, like, the flesh, so the inward man, the inward woman, man. That's the captivity, like the inward captivity he set us free from, ultimately sin and death. So honestly, man, well, let's get this Sirach chapter 4 and we're gonna close out, man. So yeah, this all dealing with renewing of the mind, man. Ecclesiastes also knows chapter 4 verse 17. It says, for at first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul by her law. So yeah, man, exactly. So, but we always talk about this too. Like, first, like me, for example, also to other brothers and sisters, we may come in this wall through the conventional way, like, we the people of the book, we're the Israelites. Then, like, his instruction, law, statutes, commandments. Then later on, Lord if the Most High house shall be, if they permit, they will reveal the weightier matters to the law of you, like the gospel, witness, testimony, man. So yeah, man, it's all a process of, like, killing off the old self, and, like, but also too, he knows our frame. He knows, like, listen, like, especially those that's just coming in the word, man. It's all right, like, just don't be too hard on yourself, but just still constantly make improvements each and each day, like, by his mercy. But because honestly, man, because when you first come in, like, first couple like years, honestly, man, it's gonna take a while for you to because you had to learn what you unlearn a lot of things, man. Don't get twisted. Even before the word, like, your peoples, even my peoples, like, taught me things that lines up with the Most High house word, lines up like godly principles, or just, like, it lines up with. But a lot of things it wasn't as well. So that's just is what it is. But hopefully it's edifying, man. Much love to y'all brothers and sisters, man. So peace.